Alright boys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about Lilith's new game AFK Journey. Now they did hit me up to play the beta of their game, so the past few days I've been recording a bunch of stuff while also just enjoying the game. And I will say that before I get to talking about the actual game, they didn't pay me to say certain things, they didn't force me to say certain things, show certain things, you know, oh when you get to this point say this. Everything I'm about to say is 100% my opinion, and it's just how I genuinely feel about the game that I've been playing the past few days. So, AFK Journey is technically a sequel to AFK Arena, or I think it might even be officially a sequel to AFK Arena, which I have played in the past, a good amount, and I'll draw some parallels to it throughout this, maybe. But, and big but, just saying it's a sequel, so if you've played AFK Arena, expect the same thing, blah blah blah, is not painting the full picture like nearly enough, because this game is about 5 million times what AFK Arena was, from the way the game looks, which by the way insane, sounds, which by the way insane, acts, and like the love that was put into this game. Is you can't just call this a sequel. This is like, I don't know, I think you can't just like compare this to like any other like mobile game release either that released recently. Like this feels like a full game that just happens to be, you know, have some gacha elements into it, right? Like it's like we will get to the game review. I'm a huge fan, I'll tell you right now before we get into it as well. So with that, let's actually get into the game, which by the way you can register right now with the link in my description or the pinned comment. It's not my link, I don't think I get anything for this. This is just a general link. Just go use it. Thank you. I promise you, watch the review first, I suppose, but you will really like this game. I am certain. This is for most people, this type of game. The game starts with telling you that you're the Merlin, which is the highest rank of mage you can attain. But because of some incident, you lost your memories, and your magic isn't quite the same anymore either. Like, you still got that latent potential, but because your memory and everything is a little, you know, hazy, so to speak, you're not quite locked in, you know? You're not like that guy right now. Okay, I'm sure later on you will become that guy again, but at the very start, you know, you kind of getting back into the swing of things again. And there's a fire breaking out outside caused by a mage. Before you actually go outside and check out that fire, you do get to make your own character. Now, I have to say, when I was making my character, you'll see it's not landscape. The game does have a landscape option. You'll see it in like 10 seconds. But at the start, I couldn't change it, so that's why it's this, but it is landscape. And character creation isn't super crazy, but I was a bit blown away at how good just the game looks and how cozy it is. I don't know how to explain the cozy part. But anyway, they then just throw you into the story. You walk around and everything, which by the way, you can walk around in this open world. It looks fantastic, which you'll also see later in the gameplay. But they throw you into the story, blah, blah, blah. You fight some elementals, some like fire ones, and then there's also this like big tornado you get to fight. And you kind of get rolled by it. Like you can see in the fight, I didn't really do well against it. But then the cutscene plays your character, you know, you go god mode, like something awakens in you and you roll it. But you don't really get to see it because you pass out. Anyway, I'm not going to be talking too much about the plot right now, but just know it is fully voice acted. Even later, like I was questioning, I was like, yeah, at the start I'm sure it's voice acted, but I got like relatively far into the story for like how, you know, how limited the access for me was in the beta because I didn't have too much time. And even like side quests and everything are voiced too, and they have their own like purpose in the place and everything. And the whole like quest system in this game is really good at making you go to different places, like have a purpose to be at certain places, not just like, oh, go there and fetch something. No, like everything makes sense, which I really like as well. And overall the scenery is just really nice, and the overworld has like puzzles and everything as well. The little place you can go has like their own caves. You can like venture into like some sides if you don't know the story right now. There's a bunch of stuff that you can explore there. It's really, really cool. Like it is really nice. Now, gameplay wise, if you've never played an idle game, the general idea of like this type of game is based on how strong you are and how much you've progressed your AFK level, you get more rewards. Now, I feel like when you say this, a lot of people that have never played an idle game or never really got into an idle game will just be like, oh, it's a game you don't play, you just like, you collect stuff, the battles all and everything. But it really, really isn't like this, right? The whole AFK reward stuff is literally just idle. You just wait, you log in, you get your stuff. That is very, very nice because it makes the game a lot more low maintenance. You don't have to like log in and grind the entire time. You don't get FOMO and everything. I think it makes it a lot more like easy to enjoy. There's no FOMO. And the battles, if you've played Teamfight Tactics or Dota Auto Chess before, it's similar to that. Like you make your team, you put a combination of units on your board, right? And they have different race bonuses. They have different spells that, you know, work together or don't work together, right? You can make different comps, like later on you'll see, I test out some different comps and they work, some don't work. It does require strategic like thinking. Obviously early on in the story you won't get that much, but later on you will have to think, you'll have to use certain units, certain comps. You can't just use the same team the entire time and everything. it is really very fun. It's not some like 900 IQ type, you know, gameplay, but it is very fun. It's very cozy, and it does require you to think and pay attention. So I think overall, very, very good. I wouldn't have any complaints about that for this type of game. I think that gameplay is perfectly suited. Now, outside of the obviously like story and just generic battles you have there and everything, they also have just different battle modes, like Dream Realm, where you fight a big boss and there's like a leaderboard system. If you play Grand Cross, which I assume you did, it's sort of like final boss, but in a different way. Like there's a timer and you have to deplete his HP bars. I haven't been able to like kill him. I've just been getting low, but it got me to like some percentage of like top players, whatever. And they also have the classic PvP mode, which I thought, by the way, which I actually play. You'll see later in the video as well. And that like whole team building thing comes into play there as well. Like I tried 2 different strategies. One really doesn't work. One really worked. So, and then they have my favorite mode, which I really, really enjoyed. And I hope, like, I want this in like every game. Like now that I've seen this, the way it worked, I always wanted something like this, but I could never like formulate it in a way I want. And now this, I want every game. It's so cool. Like imagine, okay, most of you could play Grand Cross, I assume, right? This in Grand Cross would be insane, but never will never do this, so I'll just have to, you know, this game will be my my outlet for that. And it's Honor Duel. The way it works is you go in and they give you access to every character, okay? And every character is like the same rarity, and they're all like, you know, it's just purely based on the kit. Now, obviously, the higher rarity ones, like base game ones, will have a better kit. You'd think, actually, half my team, I think, at the end was 4 stars. Or like, not epic, the one elite champions, not epic ones. But anyway, they give you access to every character and everything, and then you get points that you can spend in the store to get more characters, right? So you start off with like a certain bunch that you pick at the start, as you could tell by the gameplay, and then you win a battle, you get some coins, or you lose. I guess I haven't lost. So I couldn't tell you if you also get coins if you lose, but I assume you do, just less. And then the shop, you can refresh it, you can lock certain stuff, you can keep going. And if you get dupes, you can upgrade the characters, so you get some equipment and everything in the shop as well. Very cool, very cool. It's like sort of roguelike-ish, not really, but like it is by far my favorite mode in this game. And if I had a lot more time, I think I'd be playing it the entire time. Anyway, the way the actual like fight works is you queue up against another player. I assume because I was early on, it was putting me up against the bots. It's also just a beta. You can't expect me to like find real people there. But the way it works is you put down 3 characters, right? There's always different stages. Some have walls, some have walls. Some are like split in like certain ways and everything. So it always is relatively refreshing. And you get to put down 3 units without knowing what your opponent does. And then you reveal what where you put down your 3 units and your opponent at the same time. Like let's say you have like, you thought he has assassins that jump in the back line. So you put your back line in the front and your front line in the back to like stop his assassins, right? You try to 900 IQ it. And then this guy just has a regular comp and then now your front line is in the front. That's pretty cool, right? Like the whole like drafting aspect of that. And then once that 3 of 3 is revealed, it jumps to the next step, which is just placing the last 2 units. And that it creates a really, really fun dynamic. It's also different every time. And I kind of found a strategy that worked. Again, I felt like everyone was putting like a very classic type team for the most part. Like some people had like a full melee team that like wanted to like rush you. But for the most part, it was like front line, support, back line, DPS. So I was just running assassins that would jump in the back line and absolutely destroy them. The very first match I played, I tried this like super defensive one. Didn't work out that well, so I switched to assassins. I was like, okay, maybe this will work. I was cooking, as you can see. And also a character, I forgot what his name was, but shouts to him. Bro was doing insane amount of damage. I need him when the game actually releases. I 100% will roll for him. 100%. He's very, very cool. He was cooking them. And then after this, I should also be playing PvP. Footage should be on the screen right now. And same thing. I loaded in, and I just pulled a new epic champion. And the whole idea I had was like, okay, people will like run like their like default teams, their favorite characters or whatever. So I was gonna, okay, I'm just gonna run like a bunch of supports for frontline. And I'm just gonna be healing and out sustaining them. And you saw how horribly that went. So immediately I was like, okay, let me just try assassins. And I was cooking. I tried the hardest difficulty for like my rank right now for like whatever the team had. And I was cooking that guy too. So, you know, again, the team building stuff makes sense, okay? Now, visually, this game is insane. I've mentioned this before. But it's so, like, I'm so in love with the art style. This like water painty, like low poly-esque style is so nice. Okay, everything that you look at is super alive. Like even the menus, everything is super vibrant, super like happy. I don't know how to like, explain it, but it's so nice on your eyes, and you've probably just realized that from watching the footage on the screen as well. Like it's just really comforting. Okay, like it's good. And the music, oh my god, the music complements the game so perfectly. Right, it's so fitting, and it gives me that same like cozy feeling. Okay, like you log in, you're like, damn, like this is nice. Like this, it feels like home. I don't know how to put it into words. Okay, I'm not like good like with words like that, but you understand if you just like. The music that's been playing in the video is also the one like that is in the game, you know. I don't know which selection of OSTs I'm gonna put in the background, but I did literally message them and ask them, yo, can you give me the music? I want to use it because it's so good. It's so good, and they did send it to me. So there you go. Now let's talk about the gacha aspect. And gacha aspect wise, I don't think I can give you a super in-depth take on this, as I feel like the type of this type of game is something you gotta like play out a bit more to really see, you know. Like obviously every time you start a new gacha at the very start, it's super like, oh my god, so generous, and then it like slowly falls off. So I couldn't give you like a full like in-depth take for this, but I can tell you that from the story and everything that I've played, I was getting a bunch of currency running around the map and everything. You'll open these chests that also give you summon tickets, and I always felt like I could summon. You know, now early on I was getting mega lucky and I was really happy. So I didn't even check the rates. I was just like, damn, I'm just getting like an epic one every multi. And then later on that did like slow off, and I started really feeling the 2% rate they have for the epic champions, which I think is sort of fair because a lot of the elite ones are just really crazy. Niru, I think it is, from the Graveborn one, is an elite one, and I hikey think he's the best Graveborn champion in the entire game. Like he's so, like the damage he does is broken, he heals, he's insane, okay, listen. So I think that's fair right now, right? We'll have to see how like that goes on, like as further we go. Obviously 2% is not something that like people will be happy about. With how limited the pool is right now, I think that's fine. I do hope that, like, you know, genuinely if this game gets big, which I hope it does, they'll increase it slightly, at least like 3-4%, you know, at least make it feel a bit better. Because I don't know how important dupes are. I got some dupes for like the 4 stars and my 5 star. Didn't feel like it mattered that much, so I guess that's a plus too. Overall, the gacha is okay. It's, you get this other ticket that guarantees you one every 10 summons, and you get those tickets by summoning on the standard banner, right? You get these duel tickets, and it's cool and all. Overall, I didn't really care about the gacha aspect, right? Like, one, I can play on a duel whenever I want, and I have every character, so that's pretty cool. And just in general, I feel like everything, the way the game looks, like I'm telling you, I'm sitting in the city right now, and I'm looking at a statue, and I don't know, something about it, it's just so sexy looking. The water, the shading, the like texture of it and everything is so nice. Okay, and I do really feel like this game is just like a really cozy gacha, right? You can play it, it's low maintenance, you just enjoy it, you play whenever you want to. The open world's really cool, you find like random people in there as well. And I can just genuinely recommend playing the game when it comes out, okay? Which again, you can pre-register right now. And I know I genuinely will play it when it comes out. I'm telling you right now, I might not make content on it, we'll see. Maybe if it gets super big, I might make content on it, but like I will legit play it when it comes out. And yeah, with everything said about this game, honestly, if I had to give it a rating, like actual number, like probably give it like a 9 out of 10. Like there's not much I could improve. Like everything about the game, from like visuals, audio, gameplay, the modes they had when the limited beta, this was a beta I played, it was all great. Like I never felt like, oh, I had to complain. Like the world design was cool. Every place I went to like felt different. The characters everywhere like felt alive. They all had like dialogue. Again, so much was voice acted, and they apologized that not everything was voice acted. But like for me, I swear, like those very rare times where something wasn't voice acted. But again, if they're saying that, then I can only imagine how good it's going to be when it actually releases. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for sponsoring this video and letting me play the game early. Really enjoyed it. And that's going to be it for me. Good job.